First of all, I think philosophically speaking, my personal view is that President Trump and his government are damned if they want to escalate the situation, and they'll be damned if they do not escalate the situation. And they are completely responsible for this dilemma they find themselves in, aided and abetted by Israel and Prime Minister Netanyahu, of course, because the best way to end the closure of the Strait of Hormuz is to end the war immediately.
And I agree, his best option in some ways is just to walk away. Just walk away. He can still do that, but will his ego allow that?
If the United States further escalates, it will really trigger the toxic combination of three crises combined together: the energy crisis, which is already happening, the economic crisis, which is happening, but the data thereof probably is trailing behind,
and that's an important point. The data of what is actually happening is trailing behind. The implication here, from an economic perspective, in terms of oil prices, in terms of food prices, and oil supply, is that we haven't actually felt the worst of it yet. And it comes back to what I was saying in my previous video, and actually what and that was a video covering Professor Steve Keen, who also talked about this. And many people have talked about this, by the way. It's not a new theory, but the fact that because we still have sufficient reserves and a lot of the tankers are still in transit, it still feels like oil is flowing, actually. But at some point, there will be no more ships or tankers in the sea because of this disruption. And then we have to wait for the war to end before then we have more tankers then being released and re-establishing this pipeline again. So there's going to be a potential massive gap in oil supply, which is why there has been talk by the likes of Professor Steve Keen around rationing to get through this window. And it's only going to get worse, that gap, and it's only going to be longer the more the war continues, which is why China is very, very keen for this to end. But in this war of attrition in terms of oil and oil usage, America is very well placed to ride this out much longer than everybody else because they have secured Venezuela's oil. And if they decide they want to go after Greenland, and if they decide they want to annex Canada, potentially there's even more resources and oil to be had. And they can also sell oil at much higher prices because everybody else needs the oil.